Wagwan Two Tone Podcast.
There he is.
Ah,
What's going on,
You
dude?
made it. You figured it out.
Dude, this is the first time we're doing it, so
I'm listening to you guys talk about fucking back pillows and back lifters and all that shit.
did you hear the part about the boxing?
No, I didn't hear
Dude,
that.
you're a fucking professional, man. You look like
Oh,
Floyd
oh,
Mayweather with that shit.
let's just start here. Let's start here.
I was
All right,
like, oh
what's going
shit.
on right here? What's going on right here? You're boxing your son?
I boxed with my son, dude. I wish I would have had this with my dad. I would have beat the shit out of my dad. He got all that aggression out, man. But he's got it. He's got, he fucking hit my we usually just do shoulder body, so he usually crushes my shoulder, but today he like got a good right hook to my jaw. Like I could taste my teeth, man. It was no, he's just fast. He's fucking fast.
So where's the training come from? What's that all about?
You know, the air in my tire is just a little too inflated 99% of the time. So training gets the air just enough to I can deal with the general public. You know, I just don't want to be overinflated, man. I got to be able to fucking work out, get rid of that extra anxiety, depression, all that bullshit, clean slate, deal with the day.
Positive mental attitude.
100%, dude. I love my life.
You know, I read that you're a vegan and you support animal rights. I think that's a pretty good thing.
I used to be a vegan, but these days I'm eating fish. I'm eating sushi. Yeah. I was vegan for 20 years, and I still support the cause. I wasn't feeling great. I added fish to my diet, and I feel better. And I don't want to take away from the movement or anything. For me, it just worked for my lifestyle better.
Yeah, I had the same thing with my body, man. Like I'm vitamin D deficient, so I had to start eating a little bit of cheese, even though it's not good for you. But it's just a little bit of cheese. It stops my mouth from frosting. There's some kind of crazy thing that's going on. I don't know, but I gotta eat some cheese.
It's the cheese, bro. I love it, dude. Look, I still work with PETA. I never eat veal or foie gras. It's my limits. Animal welfare is a really important issue to me, but I eat fish.
Okay, you like salmon?
Sure. Yeah.
I make a mean salmon.
Okay. You live in Jersey, dude?
No, I'm in New York.
Okay, when I'm in New York, I'm coming to your house, and you got to fucking prove that shit.
You got to talk to the wife, right? She does the bacon. She's the baker.
Okay.
She bakes everything.
Lovely.
I can do my little salmon, and I don't have a name for my dish. I just call everything fricagee because I'm throwing this in there, I'm fricking that in there, I'm fricking that in there. But at the end of the result, shit tastes good.
Yum.
That I can tell you.
My wife makes a mean bowl of cereal, dude. She fucking crushes that shit. My wife is from New Jersey, man. She's from Medford, New Jersey. I met her when I was going to school at Monmouth. We played the Goldfinger played the Stone Pony, and she was there. We were touring with No Doubt. Yeah, we were touring with No Doubt, 1996. She was there visiting a bartender friend of her, never heard of my band. And I went up to her after the show. I'm like, what's happening? How are you? I'm John. And she just like, oh, let me take a picture because you were just in the opening band. And then we got married. Simple as that.
That's great. I remember you said that during the November 30th show at Starlands. You actually brought that up. I thought that was pretty cool. What got me into your band in the 90s?
I love it.
You look great. I think that inspired a lot of us during that era with style. That's style points right there. The whole two-tone vibe, even though it's classified as third wave ska. And I think when I got into Goldfinger and when I got into Pilfer's, Cooley Ranks, you guys are really heading that genre. And right away when I saw that video, I'm like, I'm a Goldfinger fan. Yeah. So that's how I got into it.
I loved your hair, dude. I loved your hair. Did you see me in my blonde? You saw me in my blonde era, right? Hair was short and blonde. Guess where I got that shit from?
We toured a lot back then, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shows back in the day.
A lot of shows back to back, craziness.
Did you ever do any of the No Doubt shows, or was that just?
I did that with the Toasters, maybe one or two shows with them. I went on the stage with them when on tour with Suicide Machine, and they jumped one show to go do one with them. So yeah, I saw them, but I didn't really hang out with them.
Yeah, I still hang out with Gwen here and there. She's still my homie. She's amazing. She's always been the sweetest. I mean, back then she was the nicest. She's still like super sweet, and that was such a good tour for us, man. It was like because they broke out like wide. I mean, they were like as big as you can get back in what was that, 97, I guess, yeah, when they really broke out. Speak Video broke them wide, but I haven't seen that Here in Your Bedroom video in a long time, man. It was really fun to make that. This Richard and Stephanie from Drive Through Records directed that video because they put us on their podcast in 1994, and we were just super good friends with them. And they just, you know, they're like, we have to do your video, and it came out so cool. I've always been a fan of wearing suits on stage, you know, because of the specials, because of Madness, the whole like 80s two-tone era, the second wave. And I love, like, I guess I was influenced by Aaron from Real Big Fish for the Hawaiian shirt. You know, Real Big Fish were always about the Hawaiian shirts, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a third wave thing, was the Hawaiian shirt vibe, you know?
Yeah.
So we kind of crossed that in that video. I'm gonna say Aaron sang backgrounds on Superman. He's singing all the harmonies.
That was recorded during COVID.
Great song.
We did do that. Yeah, man. I'm so fucking lucky I get to play with these epic musicians now, man. It's like a super group, like Mike from MXPX, Phil from Story of the Year. You know, we had Cyrus from Newfound Glory on drums, and then I have Real Big Fish's horn section. It's like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, my life has come full circle with my band, that like no matter what happens in my career as a producer, like my band has been a constant. And it's like the evolution of alternative music and ska punk and kind of the punk rock movement has always been like it's long big. Like, and I watch all my, you know, all my friends, like, you know, Bad Religion and Social Distortion and No Effects. Like, these bands just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Sum 41. It's like people want to be entertained by a real band.
Dude, there's nothing like live music, man, because you get to feel the energy right. Boom, it's returned. You send it out, it comes right back.
Every time, dude. It's the best.
How's your relationship with No Effects? That's one of my favorite bands. Fortunate enough to go on tour with them once. Kind of crazy.
El Jefe just came to my Christmas party last week. We're pretty tight. I love that kid. I talk to Mike all the time. He lives in Vegas, so I don't see him that often, but I've brought him in for a couple songwriting sessions with this kid Josiah, this band Girlfriends. You know, we've had sessions together, and he's just an incredible bass player. I don't know if you listen. I mean, if you listen to No Effects, it's like a lot of times you're focused on the vocals and like the lyrics, but man, his bass playing is just like incredible. The guy rips, and he's a really funny dude, and he's a good hang. He's definitely got a very strong personality, which I love. Yeah, Show Off from Chicago. We played the Fireside Bowl in Chicago. I don't know if you guys have been. You've been there, of course.
We played with them.
With Show Off.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, the first time when they started coming out.
Yeah, I found them in 1997, and I just knew I could help their demo. I knew I could help them. So we took them on tour. I got them signed to Maverick Records. And we made this huge video with McGee that was doing the Charlie Angels movies, this legendary director. And it was like, we just got him like hooked up. And, you know, not every band is meant to fly. And they did what they did. And, you know, they led me to Mest, and they led me to The Used. And The Used is the band that like put me on the map as a producer.
Universe. I want to know about the Blink 182 album. You got together with Travis Barker, and you produced one of their best albums, right?
Oh man, thanks, dude. I wouldn't argue that point, dude. You know, Travis Barker used to be in the Aquabats. So the Aquabats opened for Goldfinger from 97 to 98. We took the Aquabats on tour, and it was like some of the funnest times in my life. But they were in a van, and we were in a bus. So Travis would ride with us every night, and he would make our drummer so nervous, dude. Darren would be like, "Why is this other drummer here? What's going on?" You know, like, and I mean, Travis is like, you know, one of the greatest drummers of all time. And so, you know, I've just been friends with him forever. And so when I was doing 5 Seconds to Summer, both his kids were really young at the time, and they were massive 5 Seconds to Summer fans. And so, Travis set up a meeting with me. I met with the guys at Crossroads at Travis's restaurant, and we just we connected that day. We wrote, Mark and I wrote Bored to Death that, the next day. And we just continued on and made California. And it became, the Grammy nominated, multi-platinum album that it is. I'm so proud of that record.
Congratulations.
Speaking of which, I saw one of your last posts that you got a gold record now for 2 of your songs, for 99 Red Balloons and Superman. So how does that feel? How's that feel actually owning that plaque, that with that gold record that did you hang it up somewhere in the garage?
Yeah, it's in my hallway right here. I don't know if you guys can relate, but it's like you come up with these goals in your life, right? I used to sell shoes. So my goal was to play shows in Los Angeles because I grew up in the Bay Area. I reached that plateau. Then the next goal was getting a record deal. Then it was touring the world. Then it was opening for, No Doubt. I mean, it's and then you keep, there's always a mountain ahead of you. So I get these gold records. I'm like, I got a gold record. Now I want a platinum record. Now, it's now I want to, I want to produce the next Sublime record. It's there's always something ahead that I'm looking forward to that gives me momentum and some sort of it's like the carrot on the stick, right? You're like, what's next? What's next? So it feels good, but it's that's the thing. Is it ever enough? Is it ever fucking enough? Right?
Well, I got a song called Nothing's Ever Good Enough. It's never good enough. You got to keep on going.
I'm a strong believer in lifestyle, right? It's I had this conversation. Maybe it was with Cooley. Was it with Cooley? It was with somebody. Oh, no. It was with a band that's trying to work with me. And it was more what's the next step here? And I'm like, listen, we could talk monetary, we could talk, certain amounts of videos, etc. But it's about the lifestyle. If you have the lifestyle and you're authentic with it, that's where you get the joy and happiness. And even things like this podcast, right? We have all 3 of us, I assume we're all big ska fans, right? And we're into the music. So if we can propel that energy, I think that brings us closer to that kind of happiness and joy. That's my little spiel right there.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
Yeah. By the way, here's our Christmas card, buddy.
Oh, what? Oh, did I take that?
You took that picture, dude.
Oh, you got to send me.
It's our Christmas card this year. So thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Man.
Thank you. Yeah. I did it by clicking the button. I just clicked.
I know. Button. Well, you got to point in the right direction. You have to do that as well.
Some people don't know how to do that. So
yeah, man. Well, look, Superman was one of those songs. It's funny because during the pandemic, we were all kind of what the fuck is going to happen? Are we going to die? Are we ever going to be able to go outside again? Am I ever going to play shows? And so we came up with this idea of just doing these kind of multifaceted videos that everyone would record from their own little studio or from their house. And we never made a video for Superman. So the video you played is actually the only authentic version of Superman that's online. It's crazy. It got 3-4 million views over those 2 years that we were locked down. And that it's come so far. And I've met Tony Hawk last year for the first time, who put that song in Pro Skater, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, which made the song the legend that it is. And it's I was able to meet him. I have a surprise gold record right over here in the corner for Tony when I see him next. And it's
wow.
I feel everything kind of comes full circle if you just stick it. If you just stay with the plan, you keep your head down and you work hard and you just go forward, things work out, man. They just work out.
Positive. I love it.
I do too.
Actually, Cooley was in a video game too. Cooley was in Grand Theft Auto. Not so positive. Killing people.
Yeah, my son loves GTA, man. Loves it.
Yeah, I was one of those characters. And if your son is playing, right, and he has this voice name with a Jamaican accent, that's me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm little Jacob. I'm little Jacob, the bad boy, robber, thief, murderer.
Dick, I'm going to tell him today that I met you. He's going to be like, dude, when can I meet that guy? You know, he meets all these like, you know, old like Avril Lavigne and, you know, Blink and 5 Seconds of Summer, but he wants to meet people from GTA, dude. That's who he wants to meet with.
Little Jacob, dude.
Little Jacob.
I love it.
Have you ever been to like Jamaica or any in the Caribbean?
No, I've never been to Jamaica. I mean, I just read, I think the book's called Island Boy, about Chris Blackwell, the guy that discovered Bob Marley, that produced all his records. And, you know, I read the book last month and I'm like, I gotta go to Jamaica, man. I gotta go hear the, you know, roots from the original players, you know. I got Bob Marley radio on Sirius XM and I listen to so much reggae. I would love to go to Jamaica.
Tell us about Big Noise. I want to hear about Big Noise and the evolution of how you went from musician to A&R, and now you're choosing who you want to work with.
It is true. I used to just be grateful for whatever came my way, and nowadays I get to work with my heroes and my you know, my friends. It's amazing the life that I have. And you know, like I said, with Show Off, I just knew I could help the band, and it came from a place of how can I be of service? Like, how can I make these guys the best version of themselves? You know, because I saw them play live, I heard their demo, and their demo did not live up to how good they were live. And I think I made them better in the studio, which got them a record deal. And I feel like, you know, that led like Guy Oseary, who manages U2, Madonna, like he's the guy that ran Maverick Records back in the day. So he really gave me my first break. I mean, this guy was a legend, and he signed Story of the Year, which, you know, went on to become this multi-platinum, you know, massive kind of screamo band back in the early 2000s. And it just kind of evolved from one thing to the next. And I worked for all these record companies. I worked for Red Bull Records. I worked for Warner Brothers Records. I worked for BMG. I worked for Maverick. And I just decided one day, I'm like, you know, actually Tom Whalley, who I worked for at Warner Brothers, who signed Linkin Park and Green Day and all these, you know, Tom Petty's a legendary music guy. He said, why don't you start your own label, man? It's like, why you should have ownership. And so I took his words and I took it to heart, you know. And I started Big Noise, 4 years ago now, with John Cohen, who started Vagrant Records, and Nick Gross, who plays drums in Goldfinger. You know, we're the three partners at Big Noise. You know, we signed The Used, we signed Escape the Fate, we have Goldfinger, we have Ian Dior. We're just signing Little Skies right now, who's a rapper from the East Coast, and you know, we have the Veronicas. We've got all sorts of acts that I'm so proud of, man. And I don't know, it's just the evolution of my life. Like Steve Jobs said, you can only connect your life by looking backwards to see how you get from one stop to the next. No one's got a crystal ball, but I can only see that, like, I was working at a shoe store. Patrick McDowell came in, who worked for and I put demo tape at Mojo Records into his shoebox that I sold him. He signed Goldfinger in 1994. If I wasn't selling shoes, I would have never been signed the way that I got signed. So it's like life is just a matter of, like I said, keeping your head down and just my eye on the prize, which is like, I want to be in the music business. I want to make music. I want to make other people's music, and I want to play shows. And that's what it is, man. I just don't take my eye off what I'm trying to do, my goal.
Well, it definitely seems like you seize the opportunity. I mean, who was in their right mind? I mean, I'm not saying that you it was crazy, but yeah, that's kind of crazy to take your demo and put it in somebody's shoebox and then say, yeah, I'm risking it. I'm going to risk my job right now because this could come back to me either way, good or bad. But it worked out for you like a champ, bro. I mean, I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would do that.
And it is timing. A lot of it's timing because, you know, the first concert I ever saw was the English Beat opening for, or Bow Wow Wow opening for the English Beat, and that changed my life when I was 13. You know, I saw them at the Greek in Berkeley, and I'm like, I mean, ska music was such a huge part of my life. I saw Madness open for the Police. I saw so many great shows back in the, you know, when I was in high school, and you know, the Untouchables, all those bands like really influenced me as a kid. And it was like when ska came back, you know, with Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish and Suicide Machines. It's so funny because Travis Barker was gonna play in Suicide Machines. He got a call from Blink-182, got a call from Suicide Machines, and he went out to, they're from Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went out to Michigan to go play with them, and he's like, I can't live in fucking Michigan. I'm going to take the Blink-182 gig. And it,
Wow.
it worked out for him. And like I went out to go see the Skeletones at the barn in Riverside, and Real Big Fish were opening for the Skeletones. And I'm like, I heard
Skeletones were big
Sellout,
back then.
like, I knew Sellout was a fucking hit. And I got Real Big Fish signed to Mojo Records because I was just there to support the Skeletones. And it was like, you never know how, you know, you just got to be there, right time, right place, and the timing has to be right.
I did a show with Real Big Fish, and it was pandemonium. It was because of Real Big Fish and you, by the way, because you put in a word. They interviewed you, and it was like, "What do you think about Pilfers being on the label?" And you was like, "Yeah, hell, fuck yeah." So it was Real Big Fish and you. Thank you.
Fuck yeah. I love those guys. I just talked to Scott Kloppenstein last week, and he's killing it. I'm actually going to play. I'm going to play Superman with Monique Powell from Save Ferris next month. Like, she's doing a little show in Orange County. I'm going to go down there and just surprise. I'm just going to go, like, just do it. I probably shouldn't have said anything, but there you go.
Speaking of musicianship, so like I said before, touching about style. So what I noticed in Starland Ballroom, everybody had the suit on. We're backstage, and everyone's lined up in their suits. And I think it kind of creates a vibe. What is your purpose as band leader to have everyone dress up like that ska Pulp Fiction style?
Look, I think image is like, you know, like the songs are the most important. Without the songs, you don't have anything. You got to have great songs. You know, you got to be able to play your instruments, but man, your image has to be fucking tight. Like, it's like all those bands that I mentioned earlier that I grew up on, like, you know, they all looked so uniform. I mean, even Elvis Costello, Joe Jackson, David Bowie, like all these groups. I mean, even like the Red Hot Chili Peppers were like the I mean, just playing with socks on their dicks. It's like, but there was still like like they all had socks on their dicks, the whole band. And it felt like a gang, you know what I mean? It felt like a fucking gang. And it's like, that's what it's like being in a band. You're like, you got your band members back. Anything goes wrong, you're a fucking gang of people that are like, because we've had to fight security, we've had to fight cops, we've had to fight other bands, like, and we're all like uniform, like it's us against the world. That's what it's like being in a band, my experience at least. And so I feel like image is so fucking important.
Yeah.
I think, and it also, you know, for the fans, it kind of sets the standard of like, you're paying to see us, and like, we're gonna give you our best right there, and give you a vibe. You know, it's kind of like, who are these dudes? Or, you know, Reservoir Dog style. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is like, it's like my uniform, man. It's like Superman puts on the cape, I put on the suit, and I'm like, I'm the singer of Goldfinger now. Like I just put it on, and I feel like I'm that guy, which is amazing.
My friend from that show, Hurley, my friend Jim Trocchio, he took a photo of you jumping, like, look like 18 feet in the air, dude. You did this like jump kick, and it's like a frozen photo of you with the guitar. I think like little things like that are cool, like little stage, like you're known for that, I think, throughout the show, doing that jump kick.
I know, dude. That's like that pop punk jump, dude. It's like, I got to train because my knees aren't what they used to be. I'm fucking 57. You know, I started Goldfinger when I was 24, and it's like my knees are they've gone through 30 years of abuse, man. But when I get on stage, the adrenaline takes over, and you just go.
I'm slowing down with that pop punk now. I'm gonna play a little bit of lovers rock, soft, easy rocking music, so I can just dance with the lady. That's it. That's it. That's what you do when you get older. You just give them a little bit of different style here, so you can say, yeah, I did that. I can play one of those two tunes, but to stay relevant, I'm gonna just do this nice thing here for you, lady.
Nice. Yeah, my friend Marco slow dances with his wife every night, and he's like, and we're all kind of hassling him. We're like, dude, that's what are you doing? It's like, and he's like, at least I get laid.
A specific situation that is super vivid in your mind, whether it's an interaction or playing in front of people or even meeting someone at one of your shows. What's something that you think is like a turning point or something that you remember?
I mean, Josh Freese played on a few Goldfinger songs. He played on This Lonely Place. He played on Counting the Days. And so I've known Josh forever. And, you know, as a drummer, he's played with all my heroes, you know, Sting. I mean, the Police are probably my all-time favorite band. And he played with this guy, Paul Westerberg from The Replacements. And they're my favorite American band. And Paul Westerberg is one of my favorite lyricists of all time. And you know, Josh brought me on the bus when he was touring with Paul Westerberg, and he introduced me to him. And I remember, like, dude, I told Paul, we cover Skyway. Goldfinger plays this Replacement song, Skyway. And Paul just said, that's one less song I have to do. So thank you, buddy. And it was such a cool moment. He was very sarcastic and funny, and he was smoking a cigar, but it was just cool to, you know, when you get to meet your heroes and they're exactly what you expect them to be, you know? I mean, 99 Red Balloons becoming such a hit that it did, you know, we had a #1 song in Germany, you know, 20 years after the song came out. And so it's like having that moment where we were touring with a band called Die Totenhosen, who are like the Ramones of Germany, this massive punk band in Germany. And we were opening for them, and watching the entire crowd jump for 99 Red Balloons, like, you know, 40,000 people back in, you know, the early 2000s. I mean, I remember the first time I saw that, I'm like, we're on to something. And that's our 4th album. And it was like, not a lot of bands going to make a 2nd album. This is our 4th album.
How did that concept come about?
I mean, we were just on tour in Germany, and the label that distributed us in Germany was like, I'm putting my daughter in this video. The executive was like, I'm going to put my daughter in this video, and you were going to, you know, we were opening for Die Totenhosen, where we filmed that, and we just went backstage. And I mean, ultimately, we were on tour. It's like when you're filming a video on tour, you just take what you can. They bought a bunch of balloons in and filmed the show, and it became, you know, the live video that it is. And
that's cool, man.
I don't know. It's a bittersweet kind of success, because I'm super stoked to have the gold record, and I'm super stoked to, you know, we end the show with that song every time because it goes off so hard. But I didn't write the fucking song, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like when you got a cover song. I mean, thank God Superman, which I'm 100% writer on. Thank God that song's our #1. You know, at least
I like it in your bedroom. That's my favorite song, man.
Oh, thanks. And I wrote that song in my bedroom in 1993, and we still fucking play that shit live. It's pretty cool.
I want to say congratulations on getting Charlie back in the band, because
thanks, man.
Congratulations. Yeah. I love that guitar player. He's like one of the best guitar live players I've ever seen, ever.
He is one of one, that guy. One of one. I mean, he's gotten into more fights than almost anyone I've ever met. And he's got such a strong personality, but that's what makes good rock bands. When you've got, like, him and I will bump heads all the time, because he's like a total street gutter punk kind of like misfits guy. And I'm, you know, more of like the Sting, like, let's go fucking train and cold plunge.
Up in the morning about 5, go running around the blocks for like half an hour, and you know, keep the lungs up. But I was wondering, when you said he was a vegan, I was like, maybe that's why he sings so good. But it's not. You're not a vegan anymore. So what is the secret? What is it? Do you have a routine?
I have a really strict morning routine. I work out every day. I get up at 6. I work out. I cold plunge. I pray. I meditate, and then I've got my mind's clear. I'm ready to face my day with whether it's writing a song or producing or going on tour or whatever. But, you know, before we tour, I have a 2-week vocal regime. I sing the entire set every day, you know, which is like about an hour. And then Melissa Cross who's a vocal coach. You know, I have a tape that we made together that we just, you know, she gives me these, you know, it's a half hour of warm-ups. And so I do about an hour and a half of singing for 2 weeks. And every day on tour, I do the same thing. So I'm very strict with, like, I don't really do coffee when I'm touring, because it, you know, affects your vocal cords. It dries them out. I do matcha and tea. You know, I just try and take care of, I mean, I don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't do any of that shit. I just try and keep it strict, you know? I know.
I know.
I'm great.
I know I gotta do some different shit right now. Take that. Whoa.
What's next for Goldfinger?
We're playing the House of Blues in Orange County the end of February, and then we're playing Soma in March, and then I'm gonna put out a record in 2025. Put out an album. Charlie's
Cool.
coming in tomorrow to play guitar on a bunch of songs, and he's like a purist. He's bringing an amp and a head, like I do. You know, I do the Kemper, and he's just like, I gotta hear it. I gotta sit.
Yeah,
in
you
the room.
gotta feel that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
The feedback. So that's our plan for this year, buddy.
I'd like to thank you for coming on this podcast.
Oh, thank you. It's super fun. So good to see you guys.
Yeah, great. And
It's great to see you, man.
Yeah.
and we'll see you at the next show. Thank you for everything. And
I'll
keep
see you when I'm on the East
inspiring.
Coast. Thanks for the Christmas card.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Later.